Welcome back, artists. In this video, I'm going to color in this tom turkey. In the pre showed how I drew out this tom turkey. I'll put a link to that down in the description of this video. Now I'm going to come back and convert this pen drawing into a line and wash, which means that I'm going to paint over the top of this drawing with my watercolor paints. Now, typically when we're working in watercolor, we start with the lights and then work towards our darks. A tom turkey like this has light areas on these striped areas on the tail, down here on the wing feathers, and then the head is neck, some blue around here, but red around the neck and head area. Well, let's start here. So I'm going to have sort of a light blue sky, so I'm going to let the white areas of my feathers reflect the light sky here. And although it's white on the bird, this will still read properly after I put my background in. Just touch it a little bit. I'll have my source of light off the page at 10 o'clock because I'm left-handed, as you can see. So that means my shadow areas are down towards the lower right-hand side. Had I been right-handed, my source of light would typically be off the page at 2 o'clock, with the shadows correspondingly then off the page at the lower left. But I'll go with this since I'm left-handed. Let's just, now these wingtips do have some brown and that in them, but they're light out here towards the body of the feather. And then there's some blue on the face of the bird here, in these cheeks. That's cerulean blue that I'm using. I'm going to use a little bit of cobalt blue to touch it here and there. Varies interest, makes the color a little more interesting. The head can be quite brilliantly red. I'll notice many times when I'm working with the watercolor that I put the paint on, then draw it out so that the color varies in intensity. And just as a highlight, I might touch with a little bit of blue there for the sky. Okay, let's get the rest of the bird. The tom turkey will arch his feathers and flare them up on this back area. This is the darkest area of the bird, so I'll do that towards the end, but the tail feathers are often sort of a tannish, brownish color. Put some of these in here. There's a little bit of color right on the tips of the feathers in the tail area here, so I'll just touch this a little bit and then step it down a little bit. First color was raw sienna. This is quinacridone burnt orange. This is a beautiful color. And when the paper is dry like this, I can just touch the edge of it and let the paper pull off my paint, and it looks like the tip of feathers there, as you can see. Darkness of the bird elsewhere around here. Put a little bit more of this raw sienna color on the body of the bird here. And as we approach the top of the bird, I'm going to leave it a little bit white for highlights and fill in later. Some more quinacridone burnt orange, just like we did on the tail in these darker areas. And the beard of the bird, put in this dark area here. That's coming out a little green, which means I have some of that brownish color left in my brush. I need to wash my brush up better. Okay, that should be better. Yes, there we go. Okay. This is Prussian blue, which is a beautiful, strong blue. I'm going to use it full strength. I can put a little bit of black on here, but I want to be careful with the use of that because it can quickly take over, which I don't want it to do. Okay, put a little quinacridone burnt orange up there in that dark area. Put in some black too, just to step it down a little bit. This is lunar black, which is a transparent black, and I like it for its transparency. Remember the tip of the beak right out there too. Start with some Prussian blue here. Maybe charge it, touch it with just a little bit of black. A little more dry brush work on the tail. I paint loosely, so frequently paint outside the lines, which is what painting loosely means. So I will now let that wash fade away. Let's start on my background. Let's in some more of the ground. I use the same basic colors. This is raw sienna. I keep this piece very simple, sort of a vignette style, just a very minimum statement. I'm not going to fill it in all the way. I think that makes it a little more interesting. All right, and then for the shadow of the bird, I go with some cobalt here. We set the bird onto the ground. We could bring this up a little bit like this on the background. As I have some darkness down here, I'll add a little bit up here, but vary the color, and then just a little bit of blue up here in this corner, the upper left corner. Vary it a little bit here. All right, there's our bird. There's our tom turkey. Line and wash piece. I like that. I like the way it turned out. We started with the drawing, then went over it with our watercolor paints, starting from lights, working towards the darks, filled in the background, and it has complexity, and I enjoy it. I like it. Please give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.